Hey everyone, and welcome to another live session of Type Convo. First of all, I would like to say thank you to all my previous guests for being open to join to a brand new podcast, a design podcast that was born in a late 2024, and I've had so many amazing guests, and today I'm actually having one of the biggest designers you will meet. And I'm so excited about it. He's been in the industry for over 20 years now. He's in the boards of so many big companies. And you definitely do know him by his Instagram handle and Made by James Martin. I'm just going to invite him over. Hey there.
Hey, mate. Sorry, I was requesting to join and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I was trying to approve it and it wouldn't go through. So
Oh, we're
I don't
here
know.
now. It's all good. How
Yeah,
are you,
yeah,
my friend? Are you
it's
well?
working. Doing good. Doing good. Thank you. How about you?
Yeah, I am tickety boo. Yeah, that's a stupid English term that we
No
use.
one.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Happy, stressed, excited, and tired. Like, isn't that how we all are most
Yeah,
of the time?
how you all are.
Yeah,
That's kind
yeah.
of, yeah. Yeah. So you are traveling to Australia soon. So tell us, let's start with that. Yeah.
Let's start with that. Crikey. Yeah, that's do you know what? If you told me 10 years ago I'd be doing the things I'm doing today, I would have told you to fuck off, is what I would have done. I would
Yeah.
never have happened.
It's
Do you
the
know what I mean?
same. It goes the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very honored to be a part of the new designer advisory board at Canva, with the likes of Jess Hitch, Debbie Millman, and Eddie Opera from Pentagram, and Lisa Smith, and Joe Rocker, and Pablo Stanley. Like, there's such a powerful group of people, and we've been kind of brought on board to help build the future tools for the designers, professional designers, to bring another option to the table, shall we say.
Okay.
So that's really, really exciting. So yeah, I'm flying out to Sydney on Thursday evening. It then
Okay.
it's then like a 24-hour flight, but
Oh my.
because of where they're like 11 hours ahead, it takes me 2 days. I leave on
Oh,
Thursday. I leave there on
okay.
Thursday and I get
But
there on a
you're,
Saturday. So
wow.
yeah, it's a long old flight, but hey, I'm really, really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be fun to hang with the crew, like podcasts and workshops and all sorts of things. So yeah, it's a fun little thing. Do you know what I mean? Fun
That's
little thing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I wanted to mention Canva a bit later, but it's good you have it now. What are you guys doing? Is it the top secret or
I can't tell you top
no? Of
secret
course not.
information,
Yeah.
but like essentially what like I kind of mentioned, like we have been bought. They've created this board to build better tools for professional designers. They've obviously acquired Affinity, which everybody knows. So there's obviously going to be some sort of integration, I'd imagine. And like I said, it's to kind of the whole premise is like we're going to help them build tools that professional designers deserve. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the kind of the big future. So hey, but our industry moves so quick. Do you know what I mean? Like
That's
every single day, there's something new happening, isn't there?
yeah.
So, yeah, we're kind of going to go out there and discuss. It's the first time we're going to be all together as a group. We have lots of like meetings every month, but this will be the first time in person that we're
Okay.
all together.
That
So,
sounds really great.
yeah, it's like I can only tell you it's going to be very, very positive. That's the only thing I will say. And as a company, they truly give a shit. Do you know what I mean?
Uh,
Otherwise, I would not be working with them. So it's very exciting.
yeah, I've been researching a bit about you in the past couple of days. And I've went through your LinkedIn posts and everything, and how you stopped working with Adobe software and Adobe Suite, started with Affinity. So this kind of
Yeah.
seems like the logical next step for you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
I'm still doing the Adobe, but I'm definitely willing to see how it works. And
Yeah, I love that. I mean, for me, like this is that I like Adobe have done me very, very well. Do you know what I mean? They've helped me build a career.
absolutely,
They've helped me build my business. I've used their tools for a very long time. I just got into I just started to believe that they weren't doing the best things for the creative community or the designers. So um I just wanted to make a little bit of a stand. Do you know what I mean? It's that I'm still kind of still transitioning. Do you know what I mean? Like like I've got legacy and legacy and legacy of
yeah,
stuff like, and it's not as easy as just turning one off and start another one. There is a journey to it, but I'm soon going to be sharing that journey on YouTube and all the rest of it. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but the more and more I use it, the better and better I realize it is. It's like with anything though, isn't it? It's muscle memory. When you move from
yeah,
like it's so
yeah,
difficult to remove yourself from a comfort zone or from a way of doing stuff, and that's something that I've always tried to do throughout my career, not just within like design tools, but even like going from a person who's got no fucking clue to a person who starts his own agency with no fucking clue, who kind of starts to go more into visual identity and then more into educating and now more into kind of like working at Lincoln and being a creative partner there and helping people. So I've always tried to be a little bit uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? I think
wow,
that's quite
that's
good. It
the
helps my
best
brain.
thing, I think. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the best.
yeah.
Yeah, I accept. Well, I expect some comments to be against the Canva, and because there's a lot of designers who are going against it,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely open. I've been working with Canva, I've been doing their templates and everything,
Mm,
and I would say it's a really good software for starters.
agree.
It's very easy to
Yeah.
learn. I mean, if you go to Canva and if you go to, I don't know, Photoshop, it's completely different thing to
Oh,
make
yeah.
something. So,
It's a totally different audience, and I think
absolutely, yeah,
I think they haven't got 200 million monthly users for no
for
reason.
nothing. Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So there's clearly there's clearly there's clearly a need for them, and they're also one of the fastest growing companies in the world. Do you
that's,
know what I mean? So,
that's amazing.
all I will say to anybody who does have us like researched it and started using it, and I think if you're sleeping on Canva, you'll be worried in a few years' time. Is all I'm saying. So
That's well, yeah, I can imagine that part.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, we have started with the latest things, with the latest updates
Yeah, we
from
need to go.
you, and
We need to go the other way, don't we?
yeah. So
Yeah,
let's go back to the beginning.
yeah,
You mentioned that you started everything with no idea, but you actually studied, well, arts, not graphic design itself,
mhm.
but you were in the art parts. How did it start for you? How did it work at the beginning?
Yeah. I still have no idea. I just make it look slightly easier of having less of an idea now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
still working hard, still trying to figure it out. I don't think anybody ever knows everything, and that's something
Yeah.
that I've learned to embrace. But like in the beginning, as you mentioned, I was kicked out of school first off, so I kind of left school without any kind of qualifications or grades,
Yeah.
and then ended up taking a load of drugs for a long, long time. And then the only thing I had, when I kind of wanted to snap out of it and I wanted to try and slowly make something of myself, I would say. Um, I went into like an art foundation, and an art foundation, for anybody that doesn't know, is essentially this kind of it's like a 1 year program at college where you do a little bit of everything. You do a little bit of sculpture, you do a little bit of textiles, you do a little bit of like fine art, you do a little bit of graphic design. Do you know what I mean? So you do a little bit of
Right.
everything. So, and then at the end of that year, you then kind of decide on like what's the thing that you want to do out of all the things that you tried? And my tutor said to me that I should go with graphic design. Like, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted
Okay.
to, do all of that. But my tutor said you should probably be a graphic designer because the way I drew, I was always very like um detailed. I didn't have the freedom that most artists
Okay.
have, so I was very kind of meticulous with lines and overthought stuff and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Just want to shout out my friend Colby One Arm there, a good friend of mine. He's popped in.
Okay.
So for me he was kind of like go into graphic design, see how it goes. And that what happened was I kind of went in from that into a 2 year HND, which is like a higher national diploma here in the UK, where I
Okay.
learned like graphic design, but it was very like foundational stuff like typography, like we made books,
Okay.
a little bit of kind of drawing and illustration and bits and pieces like that. So, but that was good. And then, but from there, I did that, and then I went and did a tattoo apprenticeship for a year. I then
Wow.
went and got my teaching certificates. I then went and taught at a school for a year, but I was very early 20s, and the people that I were teaching were like 13, 4, like 12, 11, 12, yeah, 11, 12, 13. So I was too close, like in age group,
Okay.
and it was just like I didn't know myself, let alone I could teach people. So
Yeah.
um, I then went back to go and do graphic design at university. I kind of managed to kind of get into like the second year by the amount of credits I had.
Okay.
Learned nothing. Didn't really go. I went there like 3 hours a week. It was a waste of time, waste of money. But what did happen while I was there, the things that I did learn, which were kind of handing in projects on time and being able to talk to my peers about the work and stuff like that was a really good thing I did learn there, obviously. So, but while I was there, I got offered a job, I was working at a local cafe trying to make some money. And then there was a guy that used to come in a lot, like a regular, and he kind of like, we'd always talk and he knew what I was doing and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, my mate's just opened up a studio across the road over there. Like, you should
Okay.
go and you should reach out to them. I could get you an interview. And then like how it's funny how one conversation can
Yeah.
start something. I'm a big believer. Like, you're going to hear me talking a lot about sandboxing. You're going to hear me talking about a lot about conversations really, really soon, because they're so important. Like, everything good in my life has started with a conversation. Like, the only way I got a job at Lincoln Design Co. is because I started a conversation. The only reason I found my wife was because I started a conversation with her. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
everything goes back to a conversation. So yeah, so basically worked there for 4 years, decided that now, like, because of the circumstances that were happening, I decided, like, well, maybe now it's time to try and build my own agency, or at least start my own agency. I didn't have kids, I didn't have anything to worry about too much back then. Yeah, there's the good old days before even Instagram was a problem. Do you know what I mean? Those are
Yeah.
the good old days. I used to
Yeah.
still climb trees and shit. Do you know what I mean? So, um, did that for 13 years, and today, creative partner at Lincoln Design Co. So that was a very quick jump from the
Yeah. That
last kind of
was
15 years, but
quick jump. Quite.
that's kind of the journey, especially within design. So it hasn't been a shortcut. It's taken a long time, um, and I think that's sometimes like what this kind of device can do to us. We think, oh, like, oh my God, look at all the great things that they're doing. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's 20 plus years of like,
Absolutely.
is it like
Yeah.
nobody knew who I fucking was like 5 years ago, really, in all honesty. Do you know what I mean? But it's the continuously showing up, it's the continuously putting in the effort, showing up when nobody's watching, all the stuff that happens behind the screen,
Yeah.
which
There's
is that.
so much of those, so many of those things
Mm.
happening behind the screen, and
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I came from a similar, we had, I don't know, kind of a similar path. I studied civil engineering. I mentioned that before,
Mhm.
and kind of didn't really like it in the end. It was too strict for me. And then I just started doing for friends some web design, graphic design, and I figured, look, this really good. And then 15, 16 years later, here we are, you know. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of time to actually get to the point where people know you. I mean, especially you, and you are a really big thing here on the internet and obviously in real life. Yeah,
I
I
don't,
mean,
very,
you
I
work
don't,
with real
yeah,
companies, real people. It's
yeah.
not just, oh, look at me, I'm here. So,
Yeah, it's I appreciate that. Yeah, I often get called a design influencer, which does my head in. Do you know what I mean? I've worked too hard
yeah,
to become a design
to be,
influencer.
yeah,
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 yeah.
I get
So,
it.
but like I do like the content side of it has been like um, like or let's call it marketing. You know, has been a game that I've played for a long time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I saw an opportunity like 12 years ago to use this thing as an opportunity. Like, I live in a small village in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Like opportunities aren't like knocking down on
yeah,
my
like
door. So
jumping out. Yeah,
yeah, so I just decided to kind of, lean into using it as a way to get work and market myself and share my process and talk about the things and like I think I like to kind of call it an accidental personal brand because I don't really like the term personal branding either
yeah,
because I think it
yeah,
creates a slightly inauthentic version of oneself. It's more about self-promotion rather than self-expression. So and I
that's
think as
true.
soon as you try and build a personal brand, it becomes a bit more fake.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
if you
yeah,
could actually just
absolutely.
if you just try and show up and just say what you want to say, even whether it's right or wrong sometimes, because we're all a little
Yeah,
bit broken, let's be honest.
that's
So
true.
yeah, I think that's just a so that's just like a personal pet peeve for me. The personal brand kind of like it's just another marketing thing, isn't it? It's like dream clients,
Yeah,
get dream clients. It's like fuck dream clients. The one you've got right now are great. Do you know what I mean? Look
that's
after
true.
them. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like
Yeah,
another
yeah.
thing.
No,
Like
not
you're not.
just chasing the something that's over there. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It keeps you dependent on people, and it feels like you're never good enough. Whereas everybody here listening is already good enough. Everybody here. Do you know what I mean? Everybody here is doing exactly what they should be. Yeah, it might not be going as good as we want it to be, but do you know what I mean? We have everything that we need
yeah,
today to make a difference. We don't need the latest hack or tip or prompt. Do you know what I mean? You don't need
yeah,
it. Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah,
Just keep being yourself. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Agree with that. You mentioned like the personal brand. How much social media actually did try to push you to be someone who you are not?
Oh, I mean, like, I think it's like when we talk about branding or showing up online or whatever it is, there's like I don't care who you are. I think everybody does struggle with the imposter side of it. Like,
Absolutely,
even like, 'cause it doesn't matter what level you are at, there's always somebody better than you. Like
absolutely.
what
Yeah,
you've got to do is you've just got to learn to be a little bit more comfortable with who you are. I think that's the biggest trick, is kind of understanding who I am and not giving a shit what other people think about that. Do you know what I mean? But I actually, funny enough, I had this kind of random thought the other day, which I'm going to share with the internet for the first time. Do you know what I mean? So
okay.
this is a exclusive. But I
Premier.
literally woke
Okay.
up. I literally woke up the other night. So obviously, I'm leaning more into kind of helping people and helping creative business owners. Like I want them to become irreplaceable. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody thinks they're going to be replaced. I want them to be irreplaceable. And I think there's a certain way we're going to do that. I won't share that right now because that's top
Okay.
secret. But I did have this kind of idea of like, you know, I think my role is to help people become self-reliant. I think that's like the sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, excuse me.
I
That isn't
love
the
it.
latest. That isn't the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I think my
Also,
role is to become to help people become self-reliant. So I think that is any coach's role, any mentor's role, any educator's role. Our role, I believe, is to help people become self-reliant. So, and I think you can only have creative freedom when you are self-reliant. So, but I think there's layers to that. Um, and it starts for all of us in self sabotage. So, self sabotage is essentially the limiting beliefs, it's the overwhelm, it's the anxiety, it's the doom scrolling, it's the trying to do what everybody else is telling you to do, the distraction and everything. But to get out of that, you need to admit you're in that kind of space. Do you know what I mean? That you're in that self sabotage space. So, the layer above self sabotage is self alignment. And when I think about self alignment, I think about, okay, I know I've got a problem. I know, I admit I've got.
yeah,
It's like when you go to like an Alcoholics Anonymous
yeah,
meeting. You have to go, "Hi, my name's James Martin, and I'm an alcoholic." You have to own it.
yeah,
You have to want to
absolutely.
change, because that's the biggest problem. That a lot of people, they don't want to change. They know that there's a lot of problem, but they're not willing to take the action. So when I think I go from self sabotage to self alignment, and in self alignment there is this whole process of, okay, so what are the things I want to achieve? Like, who is the person I want to be? What are some kind of measurable targets that I can hit? What are all of these things? So that's the layer above self sabotage. Then above, so self sabotage, self alignment. Once you're aligned on the things you want to do and the person you want to become, you then have to become self motivated, because there are so many people who know all the things they need to do, but they never take the jump to doing the action that it
Yeah,
takes to change their world. Do you know what I mean? So, good habits, curating your environment, removing toxic relationships, removing things that don't fuel you and don't help you get to where you want to be. You've got to go through this process of self motivation and do it by yourself to make the moves that you want to make. And then
absolutely.
the final layer is self reliance, which is when you have creative freedom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where you don't give a flying fuck about anybody. You're shooting for your own azimuth. You know where you're going. You know the things you want to do. You understand what it's taken to become self-reliant. So you hear all this stuff coming in by all these gurus and all these like wizards and magicians who can fix your
yeah,
life in 30 minutes. And you go, fuck that, mate. I know it's bollocks. I know where I'm going and you can't stop me. Do you know what I mean? My version of success is
absolutely.
over there. So self sabotage, self alignment, self motivation, and then um, self reliance. But
Yeah,
you have to travel through them
yeah,
all to get.
yeah. No skipping things and
Yeah.
no shortcuts. Yeah, you published recently a video, and I've talked about it with another guest, Adam Vickrell, about all these videos online. Like you will, oh, here is one quick step to get six figures this month, and so many of those articles.
Yeah.
And like I'm 15 years in this business, and I'm still, come on, tell me
Yeah.
what's that secret? I
Yeah.
mean, what am I doing? So I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with that. No
Yeah.
skipping, and it's just hard work with yourself.
Yeah. And firstly, Adam Vickerell is one of my favorite humans. I love him. He's a great human.
It's amazing. Yeah,
But also, like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like, that
Yeah,
person selling that snake oil is struggling. They need you to be dependent on them so they can have the life that they want.
that's
They don't give a flying fuck about you.
that.
Do you know what I mean? I'm overgeneralizing. Some of
Yeah,
them
yeah,
might, but my point is, often if it does sound a little bit too good to be true, and I always like to, especially even when it comes to like social media content, or I mean, there's people exploding right now, like huge kind of following, and that can obviously create this kind of like, oh my God, they must know what they're doing, but where's their receipts? Like, is
yeah,
this real work? Like, where's the project work? Like, how much money are they making as a business? Like, they can't be
absolutely.
giving out all this advice if they don't know what they're doing. Like, I'm all for sharing journey, I'm all for growth, and I'm all for the effort, but Like if you are listening to certain people, like don't just take word as gospel. Do you know what I mean? Like where are the receipts? Like what have they done? What's the kind of work? You know, always kind of like I think if we learn to question people a little
Yeah.
bit more and do a little bit of research, we'd probably go, well, they're actually probably worth listening to.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
they do
Yeah.
some fucking great reels, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe kind of
Yeah.
not yet. Do you know what I mean? So, um, like I said, like, I'm not here to bitch on anybody, but I think one of the biggest problems is like you see something, you listen to it, and you think it's right. Right? There's so much
Yeah.
information out there. Like try and
So
curate
much.
try and curate your taste and curate the people that you're listening to, and make sure the people you are listening to are actually doing the
Yeah.
things that
Yeah.
they say they're
People
doing.
with the background and with actual work
Yeah,
behind them.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you've been quite transparent about your work and about how you do things, and that I believe that's what creates value in the end,
Mm,
and you are doing all these things because of everything you went through and because of all the things you did, and with your first company, Baby Giant, and then Made by James, and with everything you did. So that's why you're here, that's why you are in with Canva and Affinity and doing all these amazing things. So that's what matters, I would say.
yeah, I would agree, and I can't miss out my buddies, Lincoln Design
Yeah,
Co.
with Lincoln
God,
as
that man,
well.
who's
Yeah,
my that was, do you know?
that's
But you know what? Like that was my dream. Do you know what I mean? Like 10 years ago, when Baby Giant wasn't really doing anything, I was like, God, what if I could create? Do you know what I mean? I was stuck. I was like stuck in the mud, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. What agency do I want to build? And I stumbled across. I was searching on the internet, and I stumbled across Lincoln Design Co. And I went, if I can create a company half as cool as them, I'll be happy. And I've documented this whole story. Do you know what I mean? Like I've talked about it all the time. And it started with one conversation, one like, and then that grew and that grew and that grew to the point now where I'll wait. I'll go and get it. 2 seconds.
with you.
I'm now a part of their. I'm now a part of their team, and I've got my own axe.
Oh man, that's an amazing thing.
You know what I mean? And Dan,
Yeah,
Dan,
that's
the owner, he gifts these to people who have been there for a year.
wow.
So if you've been there for a year, you get your axe. And I got given this on the retreat where it's got all the Lincoln and the
Uh,
Made by James
yeah,
logos.
yeah,
It's all backwards. I don't know if you can.
yeah. It's a bit backwards, but
I don't
it's
know. You,
visible.
you know what I
So
mean? But like for
yeah,
me, like I am living the dream. Like so. But that dream has happened because I had my azimuth and I know the things that I wanted. I said 10 years
yeah,
ago, I want to build an agency as cool as that. Did I know I'd ever work there? No fucking clue. But because I stuck to my guns and I always tried to do the things that I wanted to do, I kind of got to a place that I wanted to get to. And I think it's so difficult to know where you're going. Well, the reason that so many people are lost is because they don't know where they're going. Do you know what I mean?
that's
So you're
so
running
true.
around like a, and that's
Yeah, absolutely.
nobody's fault. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because 10 years ago, I was lost. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So, sabotage, alignment. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? We talked about it a minute ago.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I agree with that, and it's amazing how some things, and so many of mine guests. I started the podcast with a pure idea just to actually, first of all, it was to show myself on the camera because I've never did it until like a couple of months ago.
Well,
I
you're really fucking good at it. So well done.
they say, I'm a Gemini, so kind of communication is art, and
Is it?
I was
I'm a
terrified.
Scorpio. What does that mean? Uh,
No idea.
no, I don't. I mean,
Yeah, no idea. Yeah, but like I was so scared to go live on camera, and I had all these people on Instagram, and it was really a community, and we talked so much, but I've never showed my face, and even through email, I've never signed it as myself. And I just did it like, okay, I'm going to do one Instagram live and just so that people know who I am. And then I figured like, oh, this is not so bad. I could improve a lot, and it would be amazing to talk to some really good and influential people in this industry. And now I'm talking to you like 4 months later, and I'm like, recently when I was talking to Elliot J. Stocks, also from UK, who definitely,
Yeah.
I said like, man, I'm starstruck here. I've been following for so many years, and it's the same today. So thank you. We are not done, but
Yeah.
thank you.
It's a good place to end. No, I do appreciate. I mean, it's wild to me. Like I said, going to Australia,
Yeah,
even like in a couple of days, that was never happening, and you know, yeah, to hear things like that, it still makes me feel weird. Like I've had my book out for a long time, and it still feels weird when people send me nice messages about it. So, um, like I will promise you one thing that I am exactly the same person in the real life. I will cuddle you. I will love you. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird thing to say, but do you know what I mean?
no.
But my point is that like what you see is what you get, and I'm really glad that resonates with you. And I will like my mission is free design education for the world. Like that is like my biggest mission that I am. That's my azimuth. Do you know what I mean? That is the thing that I'm
That's the
shooting for.
ultimate.
That's the ultimate goal. Free design education for the world. So hopefully I now have partners in Canva and Affinity. And that's why I'm very meticulous with who I partner with, because they give their tools away to people, to schools for free. Do you know what I mean? Where
That's
others make
amazing.
people charge for it. So like free design education for the world. Like and like I believe I am here for the people. I'm a man of the people, and I will do anything to help us all. And I mean that. And that's why I keep showing up. So I'm glad it's your energy that keeps me going.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Because I don't have to.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have to show up with the stupid face on Instagram anymore, but I want to
That's
because I want to help people.
amazing.
So I'm glad that resonates. Love that.
Yeah. There were a couple of people here mentioning, and I know you are famous as being a good hugger.
I am. I've
Yeah.
got a great hug.
A couple of people said that. So
Yeah.
kudos to
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I hope
I,
we meet in some of these events. So yeah, that would be
I
amazing.
I always put like on my slides if I'm doing a presentation or a keynote, I give free hugs in the bottom corner.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I saw Jen was here, Jen Close was here,
Yeah,
she's a
yeah.
good friend of mine, Keenan as well. So yeah, like as I said, like I I love people. I get energized by people. Like I used to hate being on stage. I'm not going to lie. It's like that was a
Okay.
bit of a comfort zone I had to kind of break. And because I talk about some quite troubling things in my life. Often when I'm on stage, I often cry. Do you know what I mean? In front of
Okay.
hundreds, if not thousands of people. So I'm learning not to do that anymore, which is a growth thing as well. So, but again, like it's a part of who I am. I'm only here because of the whole story that it took to get here, not just
That's true.
the good work or whatever it is. So stupid faces I pull. So yeah, I love it.
No worries.
I love
That's
this
why we
industry.
all are
So
here. Yeah.
thank you.
I want to go back to the free education and your initiative, Mission 10 million. It's one of the best things I've seen. And before we even go into that, I actually want to say that if you need anything, if I can join in any way, I'm here for it.
Oh, awesome. Thank
So
you.
if you got any ideas in your head, I'm really into it. And I really definitely like respect people who are open and who share their knowledge, because when we started 15, 20 years ago, there were not that many ways to actually learn things,
No.
and especially when you learn them by yourself. And I believe transparency in what we do is helping a lot of people.
Mm.
And so if I can be of any help, count me on. And that's like just message me, or Melinda could do it, whatever works for you guys best. So count me on.
Yeah, I love
But
that.
for the people who don't know about it, tell us more.
I mean, Firstly, thank you, and I will take you up on it. And also, I just want to kind of talk about the transparency, if I can, for a second, because like transparency is difficult. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it's something that you should. Um, when I talk about kind of being okay with who you are, do you know what I mean? You have to be very open with yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So when we talk about transparency and authenticity, it's quite easy to, I would say, sniff out the bullshitters who use it as a weapon. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm always like the people who are, being kind because that's who they are. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like when I see somebody like helping somebody in the street, and then they have to take a video of it so they
yeah,
can share it on Instagram. Puts a
absolutely.
fucking head in. It's bollocks. Just help them. Do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't have to be
So
on
true.
camera. So, like, but when we talk about transparency, transparency has those levels. So I'm obviously very transparent about the sexual abuse I went through as a kid, the alcohol addiction, and the drug abuse, and all the rest of it. But I was only be able to be transparent about that because I had a lot of counseling and I spoke to a lot of people and I worked through it to the
Yeah,
point where I was comfortable. And then I realized, well, I have a platform um, that allows me to hopefully help others be brave with that. So if I can be
absolutely.
brave, hopefully it gives them the courage to be brave. So, but transparency doesn't take time. Like I'm not, I would never want anybody to go
Yeah,
online and start
yeah.
just
Just
talking
like
about
that.
their
No,
stuff
it
like
takes.
because it takes a lot. Like I now speak to more people about alcohol abuse, drug abuse, sexual abuse, and I do design. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So and I love that. Do you know what I mean? I hate the fact that people have gone through it, but I love the fact that they can come to me for that. That's really important. So um, let's talk about what was the other thing. So this is where my brain goes. It does this.
10 million. Yeah,
Yeah.
10 million.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've got a big mission, and like I said, ultimately you know the selfless goal. Well, no, yeah, the selfless goal. Let's start. I've got a selfless goal and a selfish goal. Do you know what
Okay.
I mean? So selfless is obviously the free design education for the world. That's my gift to everybody. That's the big thing I'm trying to smash. And that's the one thing I'm trying to move closer towards every single day. The selfish goal, which is the thing I want, I want to become the best and most innovative, creative educator on the planet. Like I want to do things that nobody's done before. I want to do them in ways that nobody's done them before, and I want to get the design world and the creative world and people who own creative businesses to think of the world in a slightly different way. That's kind of my nice kind of personal kind of mission because I think it's important that if I that keeps me aligned with the things that I want to do in the
Yeah,
future because you've got to want some stuff. So that's the stuff I'm chasing. So yeah, the mission 10 milli is something that's also continuously evolving. It started off as, you know, helping 10 million designers over the next 10 years. It then evolved into helping designers or giving away $10 million over the next 10 years through my kind of little student studio, freelance studio. So, like, essentially, the mission, the mission 10 milli is now just more of this guiding star for me. Do you know what I
okay.
mean? Where it's all about 10 million something over the next 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Something a target, but
Yeah.
like I said, it keeps I've even got it engraved on my ring. Do you know what I mean? Which is again a strange thing to
Oh,
say. I got my little Made by James ring here.
wow.
And it's got 10M on this side. You probably can't quite see it.
Yeah, that's okay.
10M on that
Yeah,
side and then 10Y on that side because it's my guiding star. It's the thing like if I can help essentially 10 million people over the next 10 years, in whatever capacity that is, I'm going to be, I can die a happy man. Um, but I want to do so many things. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that just, it's another azimuth, it's another guide, it's another North Star, whichever way you want to see it. It's just
yeah,
something else that I look at every single day that keeps me on track. Do you know what I mean? Help 10 million people. Do you know what I mean? And how do I how can I keep that as an accountable thing? Do you know what I mean? Like I've given away, like I think it's like somewhere close to $60,000 to freelancers over the last kind of 6 months. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like I've also had so many course sales. I've had so many free pieces of content. I've reached so many people. Like it's like, what's the thing you want to judge? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also kind of leaning into this new one, which is like 1 million sandboxes. But again, like that's new and mysterious right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's
So many
essentially,
things happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like starting conversations, like if I can start 1 million conversations for people, or help them start a conversation, or whatever it is, I know good things come from conversations. So you heard it.
Absolutely.
This is another first. 1 million sandboxes. There'll be a few people in this chat who know what a sandbox
Yeah.
is because I've helped them. So keen in
Okay.
those. So
Yeah. No, I will have to have you like every month one session
yeah,
with you because of all the things you do. Yeah.
thousands,
Yeah.
10,000. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think like there was this beautiful thing that I heard of once called the dream check. And the dream check was something that I think was based around a story by Jim Carrey, the actor, or I think
Yeah.
most of us would know who Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, and all that kind
Yeah.
of crazy shit. He's a big dude. But the he had this kind of he wrote himself a check when he was in his late teens, I think, or his early 20s. And he was like a budding actor and an entertainer and all the rest of it, comedian. And he wrote himself a check, which was for $10 million, and it was kind of the title of it was like something like acting services rendered or something. So that was kind of like a North Star for him. He had this piece of paper that said, this is what I'm going for. This is what I want somebody to pay me for my services. And then 10 years later, he got paid $10 million for Dumb and Dumber.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? But he worked every single
Yeah.
day towards that. Do you know what
Yeah.
I
It
mean?
was
He
not
has the
at
proof.
all for those 10
Yeah.
years.
So when we have these 1 million sandboxes or mission 10 milli, they're the things that keep us on the straight and narrow. They're the things that stop us from getting distracted. They're the things that allow us to remove the gump from our lives. And gump's just distraction. It's just another
Yeah.
stupid word that I use. But like when somebody comes in and goes, sell, buy my product, you go, does this help me get to my mission? Yes. Okay, I'll buy it. No, or no, get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? Like it helps you
Yeah. Yeah.
stay on the right path. So, yeah, like having those things, those dream checks, those little missions, those little like kind of measurable targets that you can set yourself. This is why goals are so important. I see now, I'm not going to diss on people for not having goals because I don't think that's right because everybody has a different kind of way they want to work. But goals are very, very important because they allow you to know that you're going towards the thing that you want. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So I would, if I was going to say to anybody, like that self-alignment stage after the self-sabotage,
Yeah.
do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like having some measurable targets that you can stay accountable to and that keep you on track are very, very, very important for your career. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even if they're small, do you know what I mean? Start setting those goals because good goals create good habits.
Yeah, I
And good
definitely
habit.
agree on that one.
Yeah.
Like, if you wake up and do not have something that you are working towards to, it's just not, why would I even sit at my computer or grab a sketchbook and like,
Mm.
what's the point? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been in that part of my life where I had my own agency as well, and at some point it became too much for me and depression came in and everything, and then you don't have goals. And yeah, it definitely helped me to go out of it with a lot of therapy and everything.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, like, would you mind if we talked about that for 5 minutes? Because I think there'll be a lot of people who will resonate with that conversation. Like, what are some of the things that you did to help you get out of? Because there's a lot of people who I speak to who are, um, stuck or in that kind of overwhelm or anxiety or kind of analysis paralysis. Or what did you do to get yourself out of that kind of zone?
Well, it was my husband
Oh, I love that.
um, who pulled me out of it. I had a company. We worked together. We had a company, so it doesn't matter really. And at some point, the amount of work that was not creative just was too much for me. And I was replying 200 emails a day. There was no option to find a good project manager at that moment. It was just not like a person who would be good enough with English because we had all English clients,
Yeah.
and you just look for a really specific person, and it was impossible to find it at that moment. And I figured I was doing like the accountant work, the secretary work, the email work, project manager.
Yeah.
And then it just like was too much at that point for me. And I recently wrote that in my newsletter. Um, I would go to work for 1 hour with 15 people working there, and after sitting for an hour by my computer, I just didn't know what to do. I was
Yeah.
completely frozen, stuck. It just didn't work. And I would go back home, sleep for the rest of the day, come back to the office, say bye to everyone, and then start working because I felt less pressure at that moment.
Mm.
That's when both of us actually figured we need to close that chapter
Yeah.
because it just didn't work for me. And so much stress, so much frustration. I mean, sleeping the whole day, it's just not
Yeah.
the way you want to live your life. And then I really, through that part, I kind of started secretly hating graphic design, but the graphic design was not a problem,
Sure.
you know. Yeah, absolutely not a problem. And then I was like maybe even a year not doing anything, and I had the luck to be able to afford it myself, luckily. But with a lot of therapy later and with the support of family, that's what pulled me out.
Mm.
And I started again, and we moved to Spain, and our life completely changed here because I'm originally from the
Mhm.
Balkans, and we are kind of weird people over there. I'm from there, so I can say it.
Yeah.
And Spain changed my life. I would say this everything, the people, the sun you get here, the energy, the lifestyle, it's completely different.
Mm.
And that's really changed my life. I never had after that anyone working for me because I just couldn't deal with
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Still that
Managing a
part.
team is tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so hard. And yeah, but with the help of therapy and my husband, I'm here now doing a lot of creative work, and I'm really happy with how it all goes. But I've talked to a lot of people through messages and everything. No matter what you see on social media, real life is different for every one of us. You know,
Everybody's dealing
yeah,
with something. If I
we are
100%.
all dealing with something. The world is not perfect for any one of us. And that's really important for people who are just starting out to know. And I said it in, well, yesterday's, I have these like short 5 minutes episodes of the podcast where it's just like some thought that comes to my mind. And I figured that if you don't do it for love, because you actually love the work you do, it's not going to work. The
No.
first hard step that comes, the first problem, you will give up.
Yeah.
So if you don't love it, if you're not in it for the excitement when you wake up, just try to find something that works better.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish everyone to do what they want, and I'm doing what I like to do. Luckily, I mean, I love working with clients, but today I have no clients anymore.
Yeah.
And for me, that is the biggest change in my work. And I'm really happy about it. I found this part in my journey where I'm really happy and where I'm actually glad to be able to contribute to actually talking to people like you, giving knowledge to people, and it's really something that motivates me as well. So yeah, that's a short story of the journey from depression and agency to being actually really happy
Yeah,
about my work now.
I love that. And I think the one thing I took out of that was do what energizes you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And do less of the
Absolutely.
stuff that doesn't energize you.
Yeah.
And congratulations for getting through it. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy.
Yeah.
So
Not an easy road.
yeah,
No.
thank
No.
you.
I mean, same to you for everything. And it's just incredible how strong people actually are when you think about it. And a lot of people is going through hard stuff, especially nowadays
Mm.
with everything that's happening in the world and with all
Something big every single day at the moment. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. It's just like
It's carnage, isn't it?
it's it's really hard. A couple of years back when war started in Ukraine, and I was like, well, even before that, when pandemic was, I was like glued to the TV, and then after a couple of months, I figured I'm just going to go crazy with all of this
Yeah.
because they are just pumping it up even more than it is a problem, and you just see all of this, and by watching it, you're not doing really anything. And I stopped watching news completely. I mean, I do read about stuff that's happening just to be, in it, but it's also you mentioned it before, like curate the things that come to you.
Mm.
So that's definitely something I did, and my life is way more, way happier and way better without all the bad influences. Yeah.
Love that. Congrats. Love that for you.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I mean, I have so many questions here, like 30, 40 of them. I didn't ask maybe three, but I'm actually glad. I told you and I told your assistant that I love like these unscripted like
Yeah, I
conversations
think
because
it's more authentic, more real, and that's what we need.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't send questions to any of my guests.
I
It's just like
I
talk.
wouldn't have read them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have read them.
So that's
I much prefer the open conversation.
yeah,
And we can always do another one. Do you know what I mean? Or
I
if
would
you ever
definitely
wanted,
be
if you wanted to send me some of the questions, I'd happily type them out and write them for anybody that wanted to grab them. Do you know
okay.
what I mean? So
Well, there was a couple of questions here. We can do
yeah,
that and publish them as a reel or a story or whatever.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, series. So that's amazing. And I would definitely like to have you back when you can open more about the things you are working on
I'll
right
tell you what,
now.
if we organized our next conversation for like end of Q3, beginning of Q4,
Perfect.
do you know what I mean? It's about 6 months' time.
Perfect. Yeah.
I'll be able to tell everything because the things that are in my mind and the things that are being built will be in the real world.
And
Um,
well,
there's this it's a it's a biggie conversation. It's a biggie song.
yeah.
I'm quite into my kind of like hip hop rap stuff. It's weird, obviously.
No.
But
No.
there's this quote that he says in one of his songs. I can't remember which one it is, and it's "Bad boys move in silence." Do you know what I mean? So whenever you have a good idea, whenever you have something that's worth doing, get it done, build it, and don't tell anybody about it in too much
Absolutely.
detail until it's live. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
Absolutely.
smash shit up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, smash it up in Australia and
Yeah, I
bring us
will.
some good news.
Yeah, I will.
You can workshop as well, and I wish you a good flight. It's quite a long one.
It's it's over a day, so
Yeah. So,
it is what it is. But again, it's like it's a dream. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's
Like
worth it.
can't complain, and I never will.
That's that. Well, that's what it comes to in the end. Yeah. Like doing everything, like working 15 hours and actually not feeling the need to complain, not even to
Yeah,
yourself. And That's when you know you are on the good road.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Define your version of success and chase that. That's the only thing you need to do.
So
All right, pal.
I'm again starstruck. Thank you so much for everything. Say hi to Melinda. It was really nice. She was great with the email conversation, organizing everything. And thank you. And we'll definitely talk again. So Q3, Q4. Yeah, I would be delighted.
Yeah, you've got my email. You know where to find me.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, quite easy. Yeah.
Just hunt me down.
Yeah.
I'll do.
We'll try.
All right, buddy. You have a great day, and thank you for inviting me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much, James.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I will definitely pose the questions and everything, and I'll send you these 30 questions. So, yeah. But
I will answer them all.
Yeah, wait, I have one. I cannot forget this.
Yep.
Sorry. We'll have to do this saying goodbye thing again.
Yeah.
If you had one advice you could give to people in general, doesn't have to be the graphic designers or whatever, one piece of advice, what would you say?
It's something that I do have engraved on my ring on the inside. I got to stop saying engraved on my ring. It sounds so strange. And there's a little quote in there that says, "Effort is free."
Effort is free.
And it's something that keeps me, again, accountable to, like, if I want the things I want, I'm going to have to put effort in. And getting up every day and trying to get a little bit closer to the things I want just requires me putting some effort in. You know what I mean? So effort is free.
Absolutely, man. That's amazing.
All right, dude.
Thank you so much once again.
Yeah. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely
I'll
to
see you soon. Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and bye, James. Bye.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.